Okay, so we're continuing with our Bob Ross here. This is what I have so far. All right. And this is what the picture looks like. And this is the original picture. This is from a kit, if you just came here. These are about $10. They come with 3 little canvases, a little easel. Let's see here. I think this is the original one. A little easel. This has a lot of gold paint on it because I didn't quite care for the colors that were, that they said to use. So I modified it like I always do. And this is the first one I did. If you can see. Not 100% crazy about this left eye there. I'm going to fix that because it needs a little bit more. It needs a little bit more brown iris than just the black. See in the eyes there. I'm pretty happy with it as far as it goes. Let's see here. So we were busy doing these trees, and obviously I've got to go back and touch them up a little bit. Are you going to drive me crazy all this whole time? And it says for the trees they want you to use number 8, which looks black here. It's actually a dark gray, which is not, this is not dark gray, okay? That's green. So what I decided to do is modify like I always do. This green is a little too light. That's the one that came with the kit. And you're gonna need extra paint, by the way, if you, I ran out of yellow and I ran out of white. So I got this, and this is a yellow that I happen to like. We're only using a little bit here and there. And then of course you have your ubiquitous sap green. So I use this for the trees, and I could just lighten it up a little bit as needed. So I thought what I'd do, this is my brush. This is a angle brush. Brand is Robert Simmons Sapphire, if you can see that. S57. And so I'm using a Coip lid as a plate, or as a palette. And I'm just going to make, just kind of and just make a little bit of a, I want it a little streaky. I frankly don't want it really, really mixed because I don't like how it looks. I just don't. So that's not going to happen, right? I'm going to get some on both sides of the brush. And I'm going to use this little tip here. See this little tip? I'm going to use that primarily for doing most of the paint work. You don't want this whole brush to be full of paint because I guarantee you it'll get on everything, and that's not what you want. You want really nice, like doing the ends of your, if you do makeup, doing the ends of your eyeliner and mascara is the word I was thinking of, and doing the very end of that. You're just kind of, what I do, again, this is just me, you can do it how you want. Take your little streaked brush here and just kind of poke, just a little bit. I don't want it really mixed. It looks like a fakey little, which is what it, I mean, it is a paint by numbers kit, so, but I don't want the colors to be too mixed because, like I said, that's not really how nature works. Oh, and I should mention, if you make a mistake, okay, like that, see I made a mistake there, and just kind of tap it a little bit with your finger and wipe it off, because that's how we roll around here. You're probably going to make more than one mistake, but if this bottom, if the water is already dry, which it is, and you don't, slobber on it to death, should have no problem getting it back off again if you make a little mistake. Or you can use a wet brush, which would basically do this. You're damp, not wet, not sopping wet, because this is just like cardboard, so you really don't want to make a mess out of it. And Susan is going to join us here. It looks like she likes to be included in these videos. So I'm just tapping, tap, right? Let's get back a little bit. So that's where we're at right now. I think I'm going to go back and get a little bit more. If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember the rule. Is the stuff that's closer that looks lighter, or the stuff that's further away? I think the stuff that's further away looks lighter. But in this case, I'm just gonna play with this a little bit because it's my painting and I can do what I want. And most of the paint is on the tip. I don't want it everywhere because, you know, big globs of paint are hard to live with. And every so often I refer back to this picture to see if I'm headed in the right direction. Again, I think some of these colors are wrong, and that's why I'm going to modify them. But, you know, you're basically going, when you draw or you paint and you make a line or part of your picture or whatever, you know, everything you do is either closer to the objective that you originally wanted, or it's further away. And the good news about, you know, oil paint is a mess, of course, but the good news about it is that you got a week to fix it. At least if you're anywhere near the Midwest. I mean, humidity conditions and all that are a little different in other places. But you get a week to fix the problems. And you just scrape them off or make trees out of them, or whatever you decide to do with them, as Bob would say. Scraping them off is one way to do it if you keep, because sometimes it just turns out that you, I'm going to take a little bit more of this sap green, because as I said, the green that they give you is a little bit too light for what I want to do, and I don't want to play games and mix it. So just a little dab, because obviously this canvas is not very big, so you don't need huge piles of paint on your canvas. And just so it has a little life to it, I'm gonna go get some white. I don't want it to look, you know, too uniform. And here's a trick: you gotta kind of wipe the brush just a little bit so you get a point on the end. Because if you don't kind of, you know, do one of these, you won't have a point. If you don't have a point, you're gonna be in deep trouble in this little medium, I guess you'd call it. So that's the one I just did, this part right here. Oops, a little bit blurry there. Oops. Well, that's okay. It can be part of the background there. Let's see, 7. And we're doing 7s now, huh? Because I don't want muddy colors. I'm going to do my best to avoid mud. 8, 6, there's 8. Oh, we did that already. Okay, so what are we doing? 7s now? Okay. But because it's mine, I can do what I want with it. If I don't like something that, you know, that they're telling you to do in the instructions, I don't have to do it that way. I can choose to ignore the instructions. So we're Italians, we do that anyways. We pay no attention to the instructions at all. And look at all the advances we made by not paying any attention to the instructions. This Open brand is supposed to be slow drying acrylic, but you may need a retardant so that it's even slower than that. But again, something this small, I don't think it's going to matter. Let's see, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7. 7s are darker than 6s, huh? 6s are olive green. Oh, that's where the yellow came in. That's right. So this is a yellow that I have. And that's how you're going to get that olive green that I was talking about. You only need like 1 drop. If you need more, you go get it. You know, you can make some more. It's not a big deal. This is the result of what we have on that. Oops. There we go. Again, wipe a little bit, you know, just so you get a point in the end of your brush here. And again, I ran out of yellow pretty early on, so that's where that is. So I have to, you know, it's a good thing to have yellow and white and black and stuff like that if you need it again. or some more or whatever. I'm hardly any brilliant painter here. I'm just doing things the way that makes sense to me. I tend to do the outline part first. You just kind of tip it, tip. You don't want to drag the brush anywhere because, so far anyway, this is all really small, and I want it to have a lot of texture, and I don't want the paint to be too mixed. Because again, I'd rather it be a little streaky, because that's, that's kind of how nature is. So you see how I kind of made a mistake there and put a little blob in there? Well, I could just touch it 1 or 2 more times, and it looks like it goes there. And if it doesn't, I can just go over it. No big deal. Nobody's going to die if, you make a mistake. See, 7, 6. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, at any rate, this is the progress that we're making on this. At some point, see, this is where I am. And then we're looking to be this. So you see how he's got these, we kind of went over it with lighted color there. See that? Well, I'll get back to that and do that myself, but obviously we're not there yet. So seeing as I don't want to take anybody's time, and I want to have, nice short videos, so to speak, I'm just going to proceed on and keep going. Thank you.